Golly gosh, what's going on out here, babe? We got the shit everywhere. Brisbane blowjob appears to be over. It looks like a lovely day today. We still appear to have this big lake on the fairway spewing into the Brisbane River. We've got things floating down. Snapper, good morning, what's going on? We're doing a question of the day. Today's about relationships. It'll be a little one. Question of the day, who's the right kind of person for you in a relationship? I have some ideas on this, which are usually not the people, they're not popular. We have an entire religious structure, we have an entire social structure, entertainment structure, Hollywood movies that sort of promotes this idea of soulmates. Soulmates in the form of, there's one magical person out there who's the one. I personally don't buy into that. And I happen to know, by the way, I'm walking back and forth to find my shit. I happen to know that people who even say that they don't believe in the one, they still subconsciously have a part of themselves who wants the one. That one special one, the magical one. Okay, here's the thing. If you have subscribed to that and you think there's one person, or if you think that you're going to find someone who's going to make you really happy, and someone who's going to be there to support you 24/7, 365, and be nice to you and do the food and give the money and be the provider, and they're going to do everything, and it's always going to be fun and games and lollipops, then lesson one, you've got a fantasy about what you think a relationship is. That doesn't exist. It's never happened. Go and find one single couple on the planet that's ever happened. They have a balance of pain and pleasure, support and challenge. They have a balance of boredom and burnout. If you have an infatuation where you're going to find this person who's always going to be one-sided, they're always going to be fun and they're never going to bore you and never going to piss you off, then what you'll probably go and do is go out into the environment and you'll find someone who's really hot, then you'll infatuate with them and you put them on the pedestal and you'll self-minimize in comparison, you will fall in love with them. Of course, at that point, it's not real love, it's not unconditional, universal love, it's puppy love, it's infatuated love. You've got the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins running around the brain that cloud your objective thinking. These feel-good chemicals and hormones that run around the brain die off from around about 3-4 months, and then you start to see the other side of the person, and that might piss you off if you had the fantasy that they were one-sided. And when the fantasies are broken, you get the feedback mechanisms to say, hey, you have a fantasy about what this was supposed to be, you got the anger, the blame, the criticism, the despair, and the escape and exit. You want to get the fuck out of there. And you'll think that there's something wrong with the person, or you'll think there's something wrong with you, and you'll be looking elsewhere, you've got the one, you'll be thinking about the many, you'll be looking to go some other place. You've got a fantasy. So, paradoxically, the people who are the most fixated, the most attached to finding the one, usually end up being the most crazy motherfuckers. We're taking a brief break in today's lesson to point out that there is something floating down the river, babe! That is someone's barge. Look, they've got their barbecue on there. Oh my golly gosh. Looky here, they've got the umbrella, barbecue, palm tree. There's an esky on there. They were probably lined up to have a few drinks on Friday afternoon. Their barges floated away. Spewing. Where were we? Soulmates. The people who are fixated on getting the one person end up usually being a little crazy. The people who are cool motherfuckers, and the people who realize that there's absolute beauty in every single intimate dynamic and social dynamic, they're not so fixated on making sure that this is the one person, not fucking a bit crazy. They end up having all the girls and having all the guys throw themselves at them saying, hey, make me the one, make me the one. The people who are the most fixated on the one end up with the many. The people who don't give a fuck and are happy with the many will so often find themselves in situations where they can choose between the ones that they might want. So, realize this. Every relationship that you've had was exactly the relationship that you needed at the time. Exactly the relationship that you needed at the time to take you to the next level of conscious awareness and influence. That's what you needed. Now, if you compare it to a fantasy that you cooked up or you saw on a fucking TV show about how it should have lasted forever until death do you part, you'll probably think it was a bad relationship. And if there was a lesson in that relationship that you didn't get, and you judged it, and you thought that they were an asshole, and there was something wrong with them, and you're moving on now, you will repeat the lesson. You will manifest the same exact fucking thing in the next relationship so you get the lesson. You'll keep manifesting the same shit so that you get the lesson. I'm sure you all have a friend who's a fucking victim in relationships. Oh my god, he's an asshole, he cheated on me, he doesn't give me this and that and the other, and it just keeps happening with every fucking guy that they end up with. By the way, this is the part that's not popular. You create what happens in your relationship. Your relationships are a reflection of you. They're a mirror of you. If you're weak, you'll get pushed around. If you're not operating from the higher mind, soul-guided desires, you're getting pushed around in life, you're not doing what's important to you, you're not honoring yourself, you'll attract a partner who doesn't honor you. And if it pisses you off and pushes your buttons, good. That's exactly what you need to realize. They are a reflection of you and you not honoring yourself. And you're blaming them, but really you're doing the same thing. When you actually get to know yourself and you be yourself and you love yourself and you're acting from inspiration, from the higher mind, you start empowering your life in all the 7 areas, you won't get pushed around, you won't get treated like shit. Because as you allow your true self to emerge, you become powerful. And the partner picks up on that. Subconsciously or unconsciously, he sees that you're a powerful unit and you've got options. He has to lift his game. But if he or she sees you as a pushover or someone who doesn't really have their shit together, you're not a powerful unit. You're not a valued commodity. They could look elsewhere. Here's a loose little experiment that you can do. Person A, person B, 7 areas of life. Rank person A out of 10 for each area. Rank person B out of 10 for each area. The vertical additions will let you know the power balance between the two people, e.g. if this person is like fucking 100 and this person's only 20, it won't work. Because this individual is vastly more powerful at this stage in life than this person. So this guy is looking to go and do the affairs, to do the cheating. He's bored, this person's burnt out. If the 20 gets with 100, this is the underdog, this is the overdog. The underdog will want to lock this motherfucker down and want to put the ring on it, want to get the bun in the oven. Bad news, because this guy looking at the 20, he's thinking, fuck this, I want to go and fuck the many, this person wants the one, this person wants the many, wants to go and do an affair. The horizontal additions let you know the effectiveness of the couple. If this is really imbalanced, then you're going to have issues. If you have 10s and 10s and 20s and all this, but a 1 in wealth, for example, two people who get together who are poor fucks and don't know anything about money, they're going to have financial issues. Their arguments will be about money. A lot of arguments in relationships are about money, so you need that balance. So if you're into health and relationships and you guys are both absolutely killing the game at health and relationships, but you're useless on everywhere else, you're going to have an imbalanced relationship. And as a team, you won't have the bases covered. That's why it's sometimes wise to have people who are different to you, to have different areas covered. I'm not good at family. Robin is very good at family. She does all the family-related stuff, and I tilt toward the money-related stuff. But we have both bases covered, and we have a similar power unit all up. And so a balance on the vertical and a balance on the horizontal is the ideal setting. That's what you want. And there won't be point for point exactly balanced, right? That's probably pretty unrealistic. But getting it in the ballpark is important. Otherwise, you're going to be in balance. You're going to be looking elsewhere. One person will be bored. The other person will be burnt out. One person will be underdog. The other will be overdog. Real quick, by the way, someone just asked, how would this ever happen? How would 100 get with a 20? Very easily. You get someone who's really wealthy and ugly with someone who is extremely good looking and extremely poor, and that will pull them together. The rich guy and the hot girl, that's very common. And then to maintain this imbalance throughout the things, you usually have to go with age. You get wisdom of the ages. So you get more wisdom and more development here, less here. And this is why you see so many times the old rich guy with the young hot girl. And that's why you get imbalances. And it works for the first little bit until he gets sick of it. Or until he dies and then she takes over. And that's some people's form of wealth. To get wealthy, you don't have to have a value on wealth. You can be fucking hot and get your looks transferred into wealth. And society tends to judge that still a lot, right? I think it's smart. You got to use what you've got. If you've got the good looks, you fucking use them. Anyway, I'm sure I've gone off on a whopping big tangent once again. I hope you enjoyed today's mini lesson.